the president needs to come out blazing. We don't need to paper over the cracks. In a state like Kaduna, where you have different ethnicities, almost 50-50 Christian, Muslim-Christian population, Kaduna has no business adopting Sharia law. We need to tell ourselves the truth. It is a form of injustice. There's no way we are going to try and paper over the cracks. This thing will always come up again. 2, we need to look at what is happening across the Sahel. We've been having this conversation. Many people have not been talking about what is happening across the border, the countries surrounding Nigeria. All of a sudden, 30, 40 years ago, this ideology has been there, but it was not this chronic and widespread. It was not metastasizing across the Nigerian polity. If you look at Niger Republic, Mali, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, Sudan, Chad, they are facing, Northern Benin Republic, they are facing the same problem. With some non-state actors taking up guns, killing Christians, wiping out Christian villages, and even killing moderate Muslims. This is what is happening. Okay. It's a systematic annihilation and destruction of indigenous people. I'm coming. It is also very true that there are many IDP camps across Nigeria where millions of Nigeria are. They've been chased from their homeland for the past 10 years. I'm not talking about Boko Haram victims. I'm talking about people from Plateau, Benue, Taraba, Southern Borno, Southern Kaduna, that has been chased for their homeland, and they do not even have any hope of returning to their homeland. And they are all within Nigeria. Now, these NGOs have been the ones feeding them, taking care of them. And that is why this information is getting into the global community. So for Nigeria to actually be able to solve this problem, we need to seal our borders. The foreign ideology, fundamentalist ideology, that is trying to propagate puritanical Islamism, that has radicalized many young Nigerians, where they've taken up arms against Nigerian states. We need to seal our borders. If not, we are going to have a massive spillover. And that spillover is what we are currently facing. Thirdly, the third solution. Nigeria needs to properly, we need to have state police. The centralized security architecture cannot secure the lives of Nigerians. If you look at the map of Nigeria, there's so many ungoverned spaces. So many ungoverned spaces.
Why is it that not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorist groups are affiliated with Islam? I mean, I would like to hear from you. And in your attempt to answer this question, you need to lay aside your religious biasness or taqiyya in the first place. Listen to these facts. Jama'at Nusrat al-Islam al-Muslimin, JNIM, which is an Islamic insurgency group in Mali, is currently 50 kilometers away from Bamako, the capital. They have blocked access to fuel tankers that supplies fuel to the capital, and currently there is a massive fuel shortage in Mali as a result. 40 million Malians are affected. What these groups are doing affects everyone and may soon come near your dwelling place, ladies and gentlemen. So let's not be overly protective of our faith or beliefs in looking at the facts of this issue, because it has the potential of affecting every one of us in spite of our religious differences in the coming years. This JNIM in June, ladies and gentlemen, launched a major assault on Malian military bases, and several soldiers died as a result. They wanted to capture the Malian military's armory. Then they organized a series of deadly ambushes on civilian convoys where 25 people died, and has since then attacked several artisanal mining sites. They are desperately looking for a source of funds for their enterprise. The agenda is to end secular governance in Mali and turn it into a theocratic system under Sharia law. What do you make of this, ladies and gentlemen? This is just one. In Niger, the Islamic State Sahel terrorist group is actively in operation. Their source of funds has been through extortions, as in forcing people to pay taxes to them at checkpoints, kidnappings and taking ransoms, cattle raising and artisanal mining. In September of this year, they killed 22 Christians at a baptism ceremony in a town called Tilaberi. In March, they killed 44 people during prayers in a mosque in Kokuru, and they ambushed Nigerian soldiers from time to time in search of weapons. Ladies and gentlemen, they want to topple the Nigerian government led by Abdurrahman Chiani and turn Niger into a complete Islamic state. This is the second one, ladies and gentlemen. In Burkina Faso, the same Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam al-Muslimin JNIM operate there. In May of this year, they launched a major assault on the town of Djibo in northern Burkina Faso, targeting the military, police and gendarmerie posts. Ladies and gentlemen, they again want the arms. They want the arms, they want the source of funds, and also take over the countries they operate in the name of Allah. In Nigeria, the Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, and the Fulani militant groups have grabbed the attention of the world in recent times with the killings of Christians and other Muslims, including civilians. In March of this year, they attacked 2 military bases in Borno State in Nigeria, and 4 soldiers died. Ladies and gentlemen, they keep attacking places they can access guns and armor, and it's all for the purpose of taking over the countries in the name of Allah. Christians are one of their biggest targets now, just as civilians who don't support them. The central government is also their target, including the financial architecture of the country. But the bigger agenda is for the lands, the territories, and the ultimate taking over of governance. Ladies and gentlemen, hunger and diseases are no more the biggest threats to lives in West Africa. It is terrorism, jihadism, and insurgency, and every West African country is at risk. We have come to a point where every country in West Africa will have to tighten their borders moving forward. The same borders we want to open, we must now start tightening them. Do you remember when in March of this year, when we celebrated because Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso had removed all borders between them? You remember what happened? And we celebrated? Well, that's quickly changing. The borders are returning in these 3 countries. In fact, security checks have been placed in the borders because these jihadist insurgencies are using the same means to transport themselves and their equipment. All the progress that was made, which became a talking point for all of Africa and a better version of what we expected of ECOWAS to be, is now being challenged and reversed because of a small group of militia and religious zealots who are attempting to bring everything down. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody is safe so long as these groups are still in operation. Our young men are at risk of being indoctrinated into this ideology. The education system, as we know, will be completely wiped out. The civilization we have will make way for a new type of civilization under Sharia law, and democracy will be ousted. Those who stand in their way will be beheaded, burned alive, or gunned down like they are doing in many places right now. There will be only one system under them, where religious freedom will be taken away for only Islam to dominate. This is what these guys are chanting every time. This is what we are up and against, ladies and gentlemen. Let nobody kid you anymore. 15 years ago, when this whole thing started in Nigeria, we couldn't have envisioned how much a threat it will be. It was until the following year in 2010, if you remember, when there was a mass prison break in Nigeria where all these convicts were recruited into that group. This was when things began to terrify all of us. Today, ladies and gentlemen, they are at our borders. They have taken over strategic points to financially keep themselves and their agenda in motion. It is time for every country in Africa to wake up. The unification of Africa is under threat. ECOWAS, which is already dysfunctional, will soon be completely dismantled if this threat continues to loom.
You see, an average Arab man is lazy by nature. I decided to look into these people. When I delve into their history and why they behave the way they are behaving, I discovered that these people are just lazy. They have this sense of entitlement. They have this sense of dependency. You see, they are jealous by nature and they are barbaric by nature. I'm telling you. When I delve into the Bible and I discovered that these people actually emerged from the lineage, from the genealogy of Ishmael. Ishmael and Isaac actually came from Abraham, but different womb. When you look at the antecedents of, what was his name now? Isaac. Isaac dug wells several times. The one that even left behind by his father, Abraham, he dug it and water came out. The same Philistines, these Arab people, they came to seal up that well. Not for anything, but they felt they were intimidated, and because of jealousy, they seal up the well. The guy went ahead again to dig and dig. This is the nature of a Jewish man. A Jewish man does not relent. A Jewish man is a workaholic and hardworking people. You see, Jewish has actually discovered a lot of things, a lot of inventions. I was reading recently and I discovered that there's one man called Selma Workman, the man that discovered the cure for tuberculosis, that was a deadliest disease in the year 1940. The man discovered the cause of that disease and discovered the solution in his lab, a Jewish man. I also discovered that a Jewish man was the brain behind a vest, bulletproof vest. These people has done a lot of things. When you look at Arab Muslims and these Arab people, the only thing you can trace, that I know I can actually trace to these people, I don't know, is they don't value education. I know they like fighting, they like intimidating, they like religious bullying. These people. And the funny thing is that when they see you advancing, they want to stop you. Go and look at Arab nations. If you look at Egypt, if you look at Libya, if you look at Somalia, if you look at Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, all those countries, go and look at the Pakistans. They are backward. Technologically, they are backward. Educationally, they are backward. Socially, they are backward. The reason why UAE is quite different from these people is because UAE, when I say UAE, I mean Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar, and Oman, all these Gulf nations, is because they have a blend of Western civilization. They are not barbaric as all these extremists, as all these Muslim extremists, the Arab Muslims. These people are not like that, because you see, that's why you see that they hardly accommodate some of their religious people. They don't accommodate because these people are lazy. They are very lazy and they don't want to do anything. And this mentality of laziness has encroached into a lot of countries. When you look at Fulani people in Nigeria now, they are taking after these people. I know they have been colonized somehow by these people. Fulani, for example, they are minority in Nigeria. They are less than 30 million people. But it will shock you that the northern states, we have 19 northern states in Nigeria. A number of them, we have Adamawa, we have Bauchi, we have Benue, Bono, Gombe, Jigawa, Plateau, Katsina, Kwara, Niger, Sokoto, Yobe, and the rest of them. It will shock that we don't have one Hausa as a governor. And there are three major tribes in Nigeria. We have Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. But Hausa has no governor. All the seats, governor's seat, has been taken by the Fulanis. Because of what? Because of their level of intimidation. Because of that is a kind of a nature. That is who they are. So when you look at the pattern they are following, religiously, educationally, they pattern after Arab people. They pattern their things after Arab nations. All they are thinking is how to conquer people out of their land and take their land. They will never think educationally. They will never think in terms of technology. They will never think of invention. Their thinking is how to kill people and conquer people and take their things. They feel entitled. Look at the country that they are today. Look at Germany. Look at Spain. Look at UK, for example. These people actually accommodated them with the mind that, okay, we'll give them asylum, we'll allow them to go to school, we give them basic things. But they In return, they are trying to destroy those countries, feel entitled to what does not belong to them. It has been their nature right from time. That is just the truth. And you see, we can see some of that just develop this hatred against Jewish people. Jewish people are just helping. They are the one helping us today. I'm telling you, the world will be backward. The social media that you are using to attack the Jewish people, they are the one behind those technologies, not Arab people. Arab people don't value those things. They don't care about those things. That is why look at their nations today. Imagine any of these Arab nations give you scholarship to come and school. Will you go? You can't go because there is no freedom of speech. They are dictatorship. They will not allow you to talk. They will cut off your head if you talk anyhow. They will not allow you to worship your God. They will force you to worship their Allah God. And that is why many of them today, they are not going forward. They are jealous of the West. If you look at America, for example, America is the only country whereby you can say get to America, inside America, and they will not owe you. You cannot say get to China, inside China. Xi Jinping will cut off your head. You cannot even try it with North Korea or Russia. You are in Russia and you say get to Russia. But they took this advantage wrongly and they are using them against America. That is why you see that Israel today is the only democracy in the Middle East. Israel is just like a duplicate of America in the Middle East. The only democracy in the whole of the Middle East is Israel. It's only inside Israel you can shout death to Israel and they will not answer you. So long you are not a threat to whatever they are doing. But you can't do this in not all these Arab nations. You can't, because there is no freedom of speech. That is why you see that the Jews and the American will continue to be the superpower of the world. They will remain in that position for a long time. Why? Because they are accommodating. They bring you in, they allow you to do whatever you want to do and contribute to the economy. But you can't try that in China. You can't try that in all these Arab nations. You cannot try it even in Russia. That is the truth.
Good day to our viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. It is obvious and very glaring that these Fulani people and the brand of Islamic practice in Nigeria is actually different from the one practiced all over the world. I know that this their extremism ideology, they take it to any country or every country that tries to accommodate them or give them asylum. However, the nature of jihadism and the nature of extremism and the nature of penchant for killing and unaliving, for causing chaos amongst the Nigerian Muslims, especially the ones of the Fulani extractions, is overly alarming. Honestly, the way they are operating in Nigeria and in the West Africa region now, it is very difficult to contain them if these people don't unite together and if our borders are not checkmated properly. If our borders are not checkmated properly, these people will continue to grow, and before you know, they'll infiltrate the whole countries in the Sahel region and West Africa, and there won't be anything like peace again. When we are talking about uniting Africa and having a free border so that all Africans can unite and become one, we are facing this massive problem. We are facing this issue of Fulanization, and we are facing this issue of jihadism in this region. We can see that the problem we are having in this country, the major insecurity problem, the only insecurity problem that if we can cope in the Sahel region and in Nigeria, our problem is solved, is the Fulani problem, because these people in their nature, they don't like peace. Anything like peace, they don't like peace at all, and that is the reason why everywhere they go, it's always problem. They like to cause problem anywhere they go, and their main nature, it is in their main nature to grab people's land and like whichever way they can to just make it their own. If they come to your land and they say that you are resisting them from staying on your land or in your land, all they do is try to fight and ensure that they unalive you and take over your land. And that is the pattern they've been using. That is their modus of operandi, the way they operate in Nigeria and every other African countries. And President Tinubu needs to rise up and wake up to his responsibilities, because see, instead of saying that you don't have any crisis in your home or there is no religious crisis in your home and then this thing continues to go, it is better you wake up, accept this as a challenge and fix it up as soon as possible, because there is no way we can lie over this fact. Because what business does Sharia law has with Nigeria when we are in a secular country? Is it supposed to be a law that should be in Nigeria at all? this is not something that should be adoptable in Nigeria at all, except maybe there is an ulterior motive to Islamize this country. If not, why should a secular country like Nigeria have Sharia law? What if a Christian says that, okay, they want to bring in their own law? Will these people accept it? Things that the Christians or the people from Christian extraction has never thought of doing before are the same thing these people are doing. Look at the Muslim ticket. Have we ever tried adopting anything like Christian ticket when it comes to presidential election in this country? We will know that it's apparently not going to work, and these people will start reading so many meaning to it. And it's because of the liberalism of Christians in this country and how Christians are, Christians are very liberal in nature, and they are not conservative and they are not extremists like these people that we are living together in the same country with. And that's the reason why we enjoy a whole lot of peace in the southern part of the country. You look at the brand of Islam the Yoruba people are practicing, and you look at what the north, the Fulanis are practicing in the up north, and you wonder if they are the same people. Look at the Yorubas, they intermarry and they don't have any problem whatsoever at all. But go to the far north, once you are not a Muslim again, you are an infidel, and all they do is just to anytime anything like chaos come, they look for you to unalive you. That is the way they practice it there. Nigeria needs to be salvaged from this situation. If we cannot face this problem ourselves, there is nothing bad when we invite people to come and fix it for us. If Trump wants to come and fix this problem for us, why don't we allow him to come and fix it for us? We are allowing the interest of these core northern jihadists, these Fulani jihadists in the north, to outweigh our own interest. We are allowing them to overshadow our interest. They are speaking up and they are issuing threats. They are issuing so many joint statements condemning Trump's action in Nigeria, or Trump's statement and this planned invasion, not like invading Nigeria, invasion of a terrorist zone in Nigeria, as an attack on them. They are saying it as an attack on Nigeria. However, have we sit down to reason over this, to think why these people have never come out to condemn these terrorists that are attacking Nigerians, that are causing mayhem in this country, but they are quick to attack President Trump that is trying to help or give Nigerians arms? President Trump is trying to lend an arm to Nigeria, to help Nigeria, to ensure that this terrorism thing is like kind of taken away from this country. But what we are seeing now is the resistance of this Islamic Brotherhood. They are leaders who know what they are doing, and they are trying to ensure that they make it a Nigerian thing, a sovereignty thing. What a sovereignty has to do with terrorism? These people have been terrorizing Nigerians. Nigeria is not a peaceful country any longer again, and it's an ungovernable nation. And the people who are feeling the heat are these Christian, non-Christians. They are feeling the heat more because these people, over the years, in so many decades now, in over 3 decades, have lived in the IDP camp. And now a help is coming from the USA, the most powerful country in the world, and yet you are reading meaning to it because you want to protect your people. Honestly, Nigeria, we need to wake up. Nigerians need to wake up to know the truth. If we so demand help and we so deserve help, and we want this help, it is time to raise up our voice to say that let the US Army come into Nigeria to help us. For those who are thinking that not allowing the US Army to come into Nigeria is like trying to help the country, just know that you are doing your country a disservice. It's a disservice to your country, because how many you are asking the US to supply the United States government to supply Nigeria or Nigerian military with ammunition and armory to deal with these people? Do you know how many military aid the US government has given to Nigeria? And in the end, all these ammunition, this armory falls into the hands of these wrong people who are intending to terrorize Nigeria today. We don't know all those things, but we are saying they should just help us with military aid. Well, I don't understand why Nigerians will even think that okay, the US are coming to like take our resources away and all of that. How many resources have you benefited in this country since you were born? Even your grandpas, have they benefited from the resources of Nigeria before? It's just a few individuals at the top echelon that are benefiting from these things. So why worry yourself about the resources you are even talking about, if at all these guys won't have anything to do with the resources of Nigeria? Let's wake up before these people's agenda overshadow the interests of this country. This is my opinion on this. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section. And if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.